The last 33 days of fighting have shown us that. They've shown us that quite clearly. I mean, look how quickly the Northeastern Command has fallen. So I think that this in some ways sends a signal to all of the resistance actors in Myanmar. This military is very fragile. This military, its efforts to try to replenish itself have largely failed. Forced conscription has not proven to be effective. You've seen where there's been a lot of surrenders on the battlefield. Resistance on the part of military units on the ground is actually quite weak. I think where you're likely to see the MMDAA and its allies head next is to continue liberating more territories down into Mandalay. What's clear is that the Chinese side wants the Myanmar military to come to the table. It wants to bring the EAOs to the table to try to de-escalate, but the Myanmar military is refusing to do that. And so that actually plays to the hand of the EAOs that see that this military is historically at a weak point. If the Myanmar military wants to have any hope of reclaiming the Kokong territory, reclaiming that strategic territory on the China border, they have to think first, well, we no longer have our Northeastern Command. We no longer have our strategic assets in place there. This is a huge problem for the Myanmar military. They just simply no longer have the resources and assets on the ground to be able to do that, right? I mean, really what they're able to do at this point is to inflict some damage and harm using airstrikes, but they have no battlefield abilities, no ground game anymore to even go into the Kokong territory. So I think the picture has really changed tremendously on the battlefield, and this is going to have implications for other parts of the country. It has implications for Kachin. I think the Kachin you're likely to see additional waves of liberation of townships. It has implications, I was saying before, in the eastern part of Shan. It has implications in Rakhine State and for other EAOs as well. I mean, the fact that a major regional command has now fallen, I think emboldens the resistance and kind of shows the resistance more broadly just how weak the Myanmar military is and just how low morale is for the Myanmar military's troops. You know, whether or not the Myanmar military is actually able to do this, I think is a big question. What's clear, though, is that any election is not going to be a legitimate one, or one that really any of the ethnic armed organizations or really the population will accept the outcome of. So China can continue putting this pressure. I think the pressure signals China's dissatisfaction with the regime, but elections under a military regime that are neither free or fair is not the way of solving this crisis.